Hey everyone, thanks for tuning in. Steven here with Team Euphoric, and this is day 8 of the 80 Days to Your Dream Body course. Today's protein source is going to be beef, short ribs, and it's going to be a legs and abs training routine. And the theme for today's video is structural balance for improved athletic performance. So right now, I'm going to be teaching you how to assess your athlete's strength in their primary lifts. Let's get started. And while we are resting, let's move on with the structural balance assessment. And now I'm going to go on to the strength portion. So I'm going to be teaching you how to assess an athlete's 1RM. There are 5 exercises that require barbells and 2 body weight. I'm going to show you the barbell exercises right now. The main lift is going to be the biacromial bench press. Whatever lift you choose, everything is going to be judged based off of the biacromial bench press. That is 100%. For the biacromial bench press, what you would want to do is just have the athlete put their fingers tipped straight out so that it's in line with the acromion. And wherever their fingertips land, that is where they would position the hand on the bar. And for me, I don't know if you could see, but I like to put tape. That way it makes it a little bit easier. That way I'm not constantly having to see if they're in the proper position. But everything is going to be performed at a 401 tempo. So they're going to be coming down for 4 and pressing for 1. With the biacromial bench press, they would place their hands right at the level of the acromion, and then they would come down for 4 seconds and press up for 1. And then they would re-rack it. As the spotter, you want to do an over-under grip whenever you are doing the bench press. And then the second exercise is going to be the incline bench press. This is going to be a biacromial incline bench press. And with regard to the biacromial incline bench press, we are going to be doing it at an incline of 45 degrees, which is a little bit higher than you would normally do your standard incline pressing. But the principle is exactly the same. What we would want to do is just line up the fingertips with the acromion. We want the eyes underneath the bar, and this bar should be a little bit higher, but for the purposes of this video, this will do. So you're going to help them unrack it. They're going to come down for a count of 4, and then they're going to press up for 1. After that, the biacromial bench press, that should be 91% of your biacromial bench press, the incline. With regard to the next exercise, it is going to be the behind the neck press. For the behind the neck press, what you would want to do is you would want to get underneath the bar as though you are getting ready to do a squat. And then you want your arms as close as possible so that your elbows remain underneath the bar. You're then going to sit, you're going to press up for 1, and then you are going to come down for 4. And that is the behind the neck press. How much time do we got? We don't have too much time left, so I'm going to take a little bit of a break right now, and I'm going to get on to the next 2 exercises during the next rest period. But rest is up. Time for the 6th and final set. And while we are resting, I'm going to demonstrate the final 2 lifts. We already did all of the elbow extensor exercises. Now we are going to do the elbow flexor exercises. The first one is going to be the Scott Easy Bar Curl, and this should be 66% of your bench press. Now, what we would do for this one right over here is we are going to use a semi-supinated grip, and it's going to be a mid grip. You want to make sure that if you are the tester, you are going to initially help them lift the bar off, and you want the humerus and you want the forearm flush with the pad. You would instruct them to lift. They want to start from straight elbows. They are going to curl it up for 1, release it down for 4 seconds, and then they could re-rack it. The last elbow flexor exercise with regard to the bar exercises is going to be the standing reverse curl. With the standing reverse curl, this should be 35% of your biacromial bench press. And the way we would perform it is we would want to go ahead and take a stability ball, and the stability ball, we are going to place it on the upper thoracic spine. And if the ball drops, it would count as an invalid lift. So you would just want to get it up against the wall, and I'm going to be using the squat rack for the purpose of this demonstration because the wall is going to be out of frame, but you would do a semi-pronated grip. So your palms are facing behind you, and you would go and curl up for 1, and then come down for 4 seconds. And those are the exercises that we're going to be used for the testing purposes. Now let's go over to what exactly you want to do in terms of how you're going to test it. You want to superset 1 elbow extensor exercise with 1 elbow flexor. And the way we would superset it is you want to figure out what the estimated 1 rep max is, and then you are going to do 4 repetitions at 40% of the estimated 1 rep max. You're going to rest for 10, move on to the other exercise. Then you're going to come back. You're going to do 4 repetitions at 40%, rest for 10, go to the other exercise, do the same thing, come back. You're going to keep supersetting. You're going to do 3 repetitions at 60%, rest for 30 seconds. 2 repetitions at 75%, rest for 60 seconds in between each. Then we're going to start doing singles. The singles, you're going to do 80, rest for 120. 85%, rest for 120. 90%, rest for 120. 95%, rest for 120. And ideally, you should hit your 1 rep max between sets 9 to 12. If they hit it before that, you rush them, it's an invalid attempt. If they hit it after 12, then you took it too slow, it's an invalid attempt and you would need to retest. With regard to the percentages, the biacromial bench press, once you figure everything out, should be 100%. And in terms of the reference ranges, the biacromial incline bench press should be 91% of your bench. The behind the neck press should be 66%. The Scott Easy Bar curl should be 46%, and the standing reverse curl should be 35%. These are going to be important for later on. And if you fail at one lift, but you don't fail at the other, you would just double the rest period. So you would keep doing singles with 240 seconds instead of 120. But rest is up. Time for set number 2. And while we were resting, I'm going to be demonstrating how to perform the body weight exercises for the 1 rep max testing and the protocol. First is going to be the body weight dips. Ideally, a V-bar would be best, but if you have parallel bars, that'll work as well. Dips are going to be 117%. So whatever your biacromial bench is, ideally the ratio should be 17%. More than that, you want to start with your shoulder blades retracted into press. You don't want to use any momentum from the lower body, and you are going to go down for 4 seconds until the shoulders clear the elbow. And then you are going to press up for 1 second without allowing yourself to hunch over and round. The second exercise is going to be the supinated chin up, and that should be 87% of your biacromial bench press. We are going to go with a supinated grip, and again, without using any momentum, everything is nice and relaxed in the lower body. We are going to pull up for 1 second until the chin clears the bar, and then come down for 4 seconds. Now, in terms of the testing protocol, it's going to be slightly different than the barbell exercises. With regard to the testing protocol for the body weight exercises, everything is going to be performed as singles. And again, everything is supersetted. So you're always going to do an elbow extensor, superset it with an elbow flexor, and keep going back and forth. And the rest periods, you're resting in between each one, not at the end of both. So for the body weight exercises, everything is singles. You're going to do a body weight, 1 rep, rest for 10 seconds. Then you're going to do another body weight, rest for 10 seconds. You're going to do another body weight, rest for 30, another, rest for 60, and then we're going to start getting into the external load. So whatever you believe your estimated 1 rep max is, you're going to use 25% of your of the external load, and you're going to do 1 repetition and rest for 120 seconds. Then you are going to perform 1 rep with 50% of the external load. You're then going to rest again for 2 minutes. Then you're going to do another single with 75% of the external load, rest for 2 minutes, one with 90% of the external load, rest for 2 minutes, and one with 100% of the external load. And once again, ideally, we want to hit your 1 rep max between sets 9 to 12. If you fail before 9, you rush the client and it's an invalid test. If it takes them longer than 12, you took your time too much, it's an invalid test. Everything with regard to the 1 rep max testing, you want to keep the rest period. So let's say you end up failing on the elbow flexor, but you could still go on the elbow extensor. You would double the rest period. So instead of 120, you would just stick to the elbow extensor and you would do it for 240 seconds rest instead of 120. And everything, we want to be referencing it back to the biacromial bench press. So to determine the estimated 1 RM on the biacromial bench press, you would take your 1 RM on whatever lift you did. Let's say it was the incline biacromial bench press, and then you would divide it by the strength ratio. So again, the incline biacromial bench press is 91%. We would take let's say you did 100 pounds, you would do 100 divided by 91%. That would give you roughly 118, 119 pounds. And that would be your reference weight for the remedial lifts coming later on. And any lift is going to be invalid if you either break form. So if you start shaking, if you lift your back off the table, if you lift your arms off the table, or if you are no longer able to maintain that 4010 tempo. But that's it. Time to rest. Set number 3. Thanks for sticking around until the end of the video. Be sure to like, share, and leave a comment as it'll help the algorithm. And if you enjoyed the content, show your support by subscribing to the channel by clicking on the icon in the bottom right corner. And if you really want to show your support, then consider becoming a member by clicking on the icon in the bottom left corner. These new high-quality videos aren't cheap to edit, and the $5 membership will really help with the video editing budget. You'll also get access to a ton of exclusive perks like early access to videos and this program design lecture playlist in the top right-hand corner. And if you want to learn how to do a 1-armed pull-up, then check out the playlist on the top left corner.